welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk about a 2,500 mile road trip in the NSX. So we'll start with, back in Beverly Hills. You're in California, you gotta go check out Beverly Hills. If you're into cars, Beverly Hills is the place to be. You get to see some really cool cars, but in Beverly Hills we had the chance to see some Lamborghinis, Bentleys, some really nice cars. There's also even, while you're in town, if you really want to show up in style, they have this exotic car rental place, so you can even go there if you'd like. Also went to the grocery store out in Beverly Hills, and this guy walks up and he just is snapping pictures of the car, and it's like, wow, interesting situation. He has a website, he posts pictures of cool cars, and he said he really focused in on a lot of old school classic type vehicles, but he saw this, he thought it was cool, he took some pictures of it and he posted it out on the site. So that was pretty cool. Right, so it's time to leave California, and now I've got some aftermarket parts on the car from the previous owner, but there's also the stock parts. So in the trunk is the catalytic converter, both of them, along with the suspension, and the exhaust is too big, so that has to be boxed up, shipped to North Carolina. And so with all of that in the trunk, there's only so much space left, and so we've got to get 2 backpacks into the trunk and hit the road. Well, as you can see from the size of the trunk, it's actually very practical. We were able to get all that stuff in there, including the 2 backpacks worth of stuff. Everything fit nicely, and we were ready to hit the road. So we're out driving on this 2-lane road in Arizona. There's no traffic. There's these beautiful mountains that create this beautiful natural backdrop, nature at its finest. So you know what we decided to do? Oh yeah, you guessed it. All right, so this is when things get interesting. So we're driving in Arizona, literally on some back roads, just a 2-lane road, and we pass by an officer. He's facing this way, we're coming this way, and we pass by the officer. I would say it's probably about 5-6 miles down the road. We went down this road, we made a left turn following the GPS, and we're on our way. Didn't see a cop in sight other than that guy sitting over there. And so as we're driving down the street, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, literally, comes this cop. He pulls up behind, and I'm like, what does this guy want? We're not speeding, we're just having a nice cruise, enjoying the scenery. And so this guy proceeds to pull us over. So the guy pulls us over, and he says, I saw your license plate, and it intrigued me, and I wanted to know who was driving this car. Boy, what a license plate. So the license plate says High Ossifer, which is a play on words for high officer, which is basically, you could say, almost taunting the police. Hey, look at me, I'm in a fast car. and I'm just gonna drive by you. And so the guy that I got the vehicle from, he's had this vehicle out in California. He had that license plate, so it's basically a play on words for high officer. He let me borrow the plate to drive the vehicle home, okay? When we get pulled over, after he runs the plates, he pulls us over and he says, I pulled you over because your plates are expired. I'm like, wow. So, you know, he was nice about it, didn't give a ticket or anything like that. He could have just gave a verbal warning, but he decided to officially document it in case we proceeded to drive through the remainder of the trip with an expired California plate. So, needless to say, found a method of getting a temp license plate to make it actually not an issue. Don't want to be getting stopped all the time while driving a 2,500 mile trip. So we're in Arizona and, you know, it's time to take a break, grab something to eat. So we go up to a Denny's, and obviously this vehicle is bringing attraction. People are wondering, what is it? Now, without the emblems on this car, people literally have no idea what the car is. So right now the car is badgeless. In the future, the badges will be restored to this vehicle. People will know that this is an Acura, and it is just that. It's an Acura, and it's within the supercar category. But needless to say, without badges, people are in the Denny's. We've got the waitress. I think 2 waitresses are arguing back and forth. Oh, no, I think it's a Corvette. It's got to be a Corvette. Another lady's like, oh, I think it's a Ferrari. And they're just going back and forth. And my wife and I are sitting there eating a meal and kind of just chuckling over the whole debate of what they think the car was. Well, needless to say, it's an Acura. And funny enough, as we drive through many places without a badge, people have no idea what it is. So after Denny's, we go to the gas station to get some gas. This is before, you know, this whole debacle that we're having with gas, because you can imagine what that would have been like at a gas station. But needless to say, we're at the gas station, and these 3 kids come up to the car, and they're like, hey, what kind of car is this? So I said to the kid, I said, let me give you a hint. It's a brand that for every one of their models, they have 3 letters and they all end in X. Any guesses? The kids are sitting there stumped. So one of the kids is making fun of the other kid. He's like, you work at a dealership, you should know what kind of car it is. And literally not one of those kids could tell me what the car was. So that was interesting. And then another gentleman proceeded to walk up, you know, come to the car, telling, hey, cool car, and talked about the car a little bit. But, you know, this car being in the color that it is, blue, and being badgeless, it actually, you know, causes people to really just come and say, hey, what is this? So that was the experience at the gas station. All right, now, so we're in Arizona and it's time to hit the road. So we're driving nice and easy, just cruising along. And off of the road flips up a nice little stone. And what does it do? Well, I think you guessed it. There it is right there. It gave a nice welcome to Arizona as you depart. I don't know if you can really catch it on the camera, but there it is right there. So needless to say, there will be a video coming in the future discussing windshield replacement options. So we'll take it for what it is, and we'll just have to get the windshield replaced. So we're in New Mexico and we're just cruising right along. And out of nowhere pulls up this Mustang. And the passenger has his window down and he's got his hat on. So I'm looking over and all I see is the guy. He tips his head as to say, hey, my man right here driving, we're ready to take you on. So, you know, I kind of catch on to what's happening, And then he puts his hands up and he starts going 3, 2, 1. By the time I actually catch when it's time to go, the guy's already gassing on it. So I gas on it too, trying to catch up to him. Needless to say, the NSX took care of business.
Sé que conmigo vas a estar. Yeah, you make everything alright. Esa montaña le diré, even when I feel it there. Got what you want, know I will. Creyendo en la fe, como Marcos, man. Toda mi alma me viene. Escuché tu llamada, entregas cada batalla. Con un grano de mostaza voy a romper. Si tuvieras fe.
Your love is patient. You fill my heart with so much peace and joy.
Yeah, check it. Yo, Jesus, I put everything aside. Cause I acknowledge you are the most high. Even the scholars can't even deny that your words can't ever be a lie. Your word is the only thing that brings life.
Alright, so the biggest question could be, hey, is it comfortable to ride in a supercar for an extended amount of time? Now, what I will say, the Acura NSX has absolutely surpassed my expectations of comfort. When you look at the seat, when you look at the build of the seat, the quality of the seat, the comfort of the seat, to be able to sit in this vehicle and drive for extended amount of time is actually not a problem whatsoever. The vehicle is very comfortable. There is enough space to kind of enjoy that nice cockpit feeling as you're sitting within the cabin. And so I would say that, with that said, it makes this vehicle very practical to be considered as a everyday supercar. Now, when it comes to gas mileage on this NSX, it is rated at 21 and 22. And so the electric motors really help when you're in the city to really reduce the amount of gas that's being used. Needless to say, when on the highway, the gas mileage was exceptional. Even though it was rated at 21, I believe I was averaging over that number. So even from an economical standpoint, the gas mileage on this vehicle is very good.
I want to thank you guys for taking the time to check out the 2,500 mile road trip in the Acura NSX. Stay tuned, more videos coming soon, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.